Hello and welcome to another episode of GM Talks. Today we're gonna look a little bit at the elephant gambit. Have you heard of that? I just I write for a newspaper and I got a review copy of a brand new book about the elephant gambit, and I've been trying it in Blitz because it's a lot of fun. I'm not sure it's completely correct, but it sure is dangerous for white. The book is this one. Um, and it's it's more than 400 pages about some gambit. So so I don't think they will write another book about the elephant gambit in the coming years. It's a very good book. The index is not so good, but the rest is really good, and it's fun and it's very fun to play. I had very mixed results yesterday in the title Tuesday. I had a good result, 9 points, fourth place, best result I tried so far. And I played the elephant gambit in one of the games, and I'm gonna show you a little bit. I thought it was a good time to give you a crash course in the elephant gambit. If you're interested, I might return with some other games later. This is the elephant gambit. You can just take it from the start. E4, um, E5, 93, D5. And it looks like it's a little bit too much, but it's not so easy for white, and especially in blitz games. Black develops very fast. He gives up a pawn and he goes after the king. And often you get to kick the white kings all over the board, which is a lot of fun. And if when you lose against the elephant gambit, it's also a bit humiliating. Actually, I kind of feel it's annoying when people try to play something like d5 against me. But I'm better prepared now because I played it as black in some games and had a very mixed result. Okay, I'm playing against Castor, which is Vasquez from Chile, a very strong grandmaster. I think his normal rating is around 2600, so he's a good player. And I remember back in the days in on the ICC, I had big problems with this guy. He's fast and he calculates well, and he's got good tactical skills. And well, I'm basically old and slow, but with some decent understanding. So why I'm playing a wild gambit is sort of hard to explain. Anyway, it's fun. And also it forces black to give up all kind of ideas of playing positionally. You have to attack. Um, the idea behind the elephant gambit is just to play bishop d6, and later on the pawn on e4 e5 will go to e4 and make the basis of a kingside attack in sort of almost martial way. The best move for white here is probably d4. Just striking in the center. Black has lost a pawn, and he will usually not get it back. So you're a pawn down. Don't go into the ending just yet. Try and see if you can make the white king first. E4 is also forced. By the way, in this position, another line is to take on e5 with the knight. All of it is covered very extensively in the book, but it's clearly more critical to take with the pawn. I saw that actually that Hepton in this Hastings, he played e4 here, but I think it's a bad move after queen e2. White is simply winning a pawn. Without compensating. Bishop d6 is clearly better. d4, e4, knight e5, knight f6, and this is the critical position. White has a lot of moves here. I played against all kind of move. The really fun stuff starts after bishop b5, which the authors Jakob Opening Thomsen and Michael Agermose Jensen, they call the Hepton Gambit, and you just have to play c6 and give another pawn, and it will be a big mess, and black can win in fantastic ways. White will have to give up some development to get the pawns, and black gets to attack for sure. The more sort of simple way to play is to just go c4. Well, they gave me a pawn, and I keep it. And if you want to take on e5, well, go ahead. And here black has to play c5. And they call it Tusk versus Tusk, and the Tusk is those guys sitting on the elephant. I didn't know that actually. My English is not that good. And white has to take en passant here because otherwise queen e7 will give the knight on e5 big problems later, and you will probably be able to lose. After, for instance, something like this, black is already winning material. So it has to be careful. So yes, he has to take, and knight takes, b takes, knight c3, and white has a healthy position. He's a pawn up. He should be clearly better, and I'm sure he is better. But, and this is the big thing, this pawn assures black that he has a clear spatial advantage on the king side. He also have an open file, D file, and an open B file, and all his pieces are pointing toward the king side. So white cannot be sure. If, for instance, if black has a pawn on had a pawn on b7, he'll probably be better already. So so it's clear that black has some compensation, but probably not enough. But it's also clear that it will be a fun game, and I'm sure that if you're not a grandmaster, you'll probably get pretty decent results with this gambit, because it's not easy for white to play, and there are a lot of tricks, much more than like the Stafford gambit or stuff like that. This is much more serious stuff, in my opinion, anyway. I'm not gonna so offend the Staffordshire gambit. Rook b8, very important move. Sort of keeps the bishop on c1. I had a game here, which was one of the main lines. So I'm just going to show you, and then I'm just going to go back to this main game, and we're going to see 10 more moves. And I agree that white is probably better. But a normal move here would be something like this. Here, here, here. Something maybe like this. Here, castle. And here, important move is queen c7, attacking h3. And if he goes here, white goes here. And what's the point behind this? To take on h3, of course. And after g4, I had this. I think I played h5. And if he takes here, he actually has to play king g2, and you give a check, and you play queen f5, and he cannot avoid a perpetual check. So this is a nice little trick. It's also in the book, but okay. Castor, he immediately realized he has to play h3. The square g4 is important for black. And okay, all the pieces are out, all the pieces are active. The only problem is you lost a pawn. I think all this is pretty normal. Here, black should play a5. White, of course, has an advantage, but he has one problem still to solve: where to go with this guy, because he will not be safe anywhere. So he will probably stay on e1. Maybe that's the safest spot. And this is also what the Castor actually did in the game. He played pretty well. Bishop c7. Gonna just take it pretty quickly from here. Bishop c7 is a bit weird move. I'm trying to get ready for queen d6, but maybe queen c7 or something would have been better. Queen e7. And now I played g4. So he's probably not going kingside anytime soon. And b4. And I kind of thought it was weird to play both moves, but black is sort of lacking a plan. A good move here is probably knight h7, with the idea to just go to g5 with the knight. Could play queen e7 and knight d5, and if you could get the knight to f3, it will be with check, and the rook will be attacked on b1, and the rook on e8 will be liberated and ready to join the action. I play a6. Also, this is the title Tuesday on chess.com is 3 minutes plus 1 second, so you're pretty much in time trouble the whole game. I like to think a little bit more, and this is not fun. And here I'm already losing the plot, so I'm just covering this pawn here, and I go to d6, and that was a mistake, because now he can actually take on a6, which the computer sees instantly, and none of us, of course, saw. Played h4, h5, trying to get something going somewhere, which is it's kind of fun to play the elephant because you have to keep staying active. This is the only plan. And here G3, and of course white is much better, but it's not simple. Here I made a big mistake. I played H take G takes H6, and he should just take on G3 and play King E2, and he's clearly better. The best move for black here is Queen F3, and with the Bishop G3, and it's not so simple. Here I probably have to play Rook G1 as the best move, but black is in the game, and in a blitz game anything can happen. But actually, even after this, anything can happen. We'll just see the game fast. Out of the way, take, check, and white is of course winning. He's a clear pawn up, and also these pawns on the queen side are pretty strong. And I said, okay, maybe these opposite colored bishops could give some hope and some counterattack on the d file, and this was probably a bad move. And here I'm getting activity, and this is threatening mate, and here I make a huge mistake. I actually have a perpetual check. I just gave with the rook check here, but I gave with the other rook. I was down to seconds here, so I was living on the 1 second you get. So just moving, give a lot of checks, and okay, some sort of counterplay, and this is a huge mistake because now I'm winning, and of course this was also a mistake. There's no reason to take that one at all. I thought it was easier, but the c pawn is actually pretty strong, and I cannot stop it. Even though I try, and I'm winning again here, but this is a huge mistake. And well, this is what happens sometimes, and this is a draw, and the rest we actually play perfectly. So this is some redemption for. Yes, and it's a draw. But anyway, if you want to have fun, play the Elephant Gambit. It's you're losing a pawn, but you get some chances, and you're making your opponent uncomfortable for sure. I'm sure I will be back with another video about the Elephant Gambit because it is fun. Bye bye for now.